Okay guys, and welcome back to another video. To start off, I'm going to play this 2.5 minutes clip in full, which is of me approaching two girls to try get them in a uni girls interview video. It results in a rejection, but I think there's still a lot to be learned by it, and once that's played in full, just so you can see the flow of all of it, I'm then going to play it again, but for the rest of the video, I'm going to be pausing it in between, giving my points of analysis, explaining what I did, why I did it, and how it might have increased the conversion rate. So we're just going to play this video now. Excuse me, girls. Sorry to interrupt you. Are you enjoying a lovely coffee or... In fact, I don't even know what that is. It looks like a strawberry milkshake or something.
Slightly questionable free coffee.
Questionable free coffee. It seems it's been tainted with
I don't know if you can match that, whatever
some
it's not free coffee.
Right, okay. Anyway, yeah, right. Now let me think of what I was actually going to come over and ask you for. So, yeah, me and my friend, we're actually recording a video today. It was literally on our break, sitting over there on the bench. But we saw you, like, sitting here, and was like, oh my god, you'd literally be perfect for it. Like, literally, both of you. And we've only got 2 left to do, so we really want to get it done. If you girls could do like a massive favour and just be the last 2 people, that'd be fantastic. You'd make our day. It's basically rating guys out of 10. So it's a really interesting concept. We've already recorded 8 so far, so we literally need 2 more. And we've got like all of these magnets printed off. These guys have actually paid me because they want to find out how attractive they are. They want to hear the valued, lovely opinions from the beautiful girls at the University of Birmingham. Literally takes 5 minutes. All you need to do is just slap them on the board wherever you think. It's the easiest thing in the world.
I mean, I'm good. Do you want to do it? I think you should do it. Not for me, thanks. But you can if you want.
I will leave it, but...
I see, you're a little bit warmer.
I've got a boyfriend. I feel like he might be. What the hell?
Actually, we've already had a couple of people that have had boyfriends.
Really?
So if you want to say like something at the beginning, you know, to...
Disclaimer.
Say, yeah,
Pre-disclaimer.
disclaimer.
No, it's alright, but thank you. Sounds like a fun video.
Right. Last resort, just because I want to make it worth your time, you know. I know it's a little bit of an inconvenience. Like, you know, because we are desperate. We'll pay you a tenner each.
Lucy, I think you should do it.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
You're happy with lots of free stuff today. You've got the free coffee. You can get a tenner.
Where's it going on YouTube?
It's all for YouTube, yeah.
No, I'm alright. Thank you.
Sure. Alright, okay. Anyway, sorry to interrupt your lovely coffee day.
Idea,
enjoy the rest of your day. See you later. Okay, so there you go. As you saw, it resulted in a rejection. And if I'm honest, for a second there, I really did think that I'd be able to persuade them. I knew that they was like really on the fence, like just on the boundary. And I think that's most of the people that I approach. I've approached women like that before, and they've been a little bit iffy to begin with, but then you are able to convince them later on. And it's all down to the techniques and strategies that I employed in that clip. And there's so much to unpack there. I'm going to be explaining all of it, but I'm going to be paying a lot more attention to that first 20% of the interaction. The first 20% is so much more important because it almost relates to the 80-20 rule. And this doesn't just apply to this interaction, trying to get some women for a stupid YouTube video. This applies to dating, cold approaches, whatever it's going to be. The first 20% of an interaction with a girl is so crucial because first impressions are so important. That first 20% is probably equal to the top 80% of how much she actually thinks about you. So the, you know, minutes that trail after that, they're so much less relevant because people are very quick to make judgments and their opinions solidify very quickly. And if you don't make that first good impression, then it's going to be very difficult to recover, if not impossible. So I'm going to be breaking all of this down. And as we just get into the start, I might as well just explain everything. This is almost going to be a bit of an over-explained video, but if you try to interpret everything I say here view it in the lens of, imagine if I'm approaching a woman romantically, imagine if this is a cold approach, it's almost a perfect parallel in terms of how you want to conduct yourself in an approach. You are basically want to be using all of these same strategies in your cold approaching because it's so similar. We'll just get into it. So here You know, I'm just walking over. I'm taking a leisurely pace. There's no need to run or anything because I see the two girls that I'm going to approach. If they were on the move or something like that, you know, I'm not going to chase them down by walking for half an hour. If that's the case, then sometimes you do need to do a little jog. And I know you're going to think that you're embarrassing yourself, but that's just sometimes what you need to be doing. Just do a little jog, get over to them. But in this case, it wasn't necessary because I saw them standing there. They were stationary, so I could just have a leisurely walk over to them. I'm not going to startle them or scare them or anything like that. I'm just going at my own pace, taking a gentle stroll over in their direction. So now let's get into the first thing that I say.
Excuse me, girls. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay, now this is arguably the most important line of the entire video. The first thing that I say is, excuse me, girls. Because this is so important. If you don't make an immediate first impression and get all of their attention, not 20%, not 30% of their attention, all of their attention. If you don't do that, then it's going to be a downhill struggle from there. Because if you go over, I've seen a lot of TikTok videos of guys doing cold approaches and they just go, excuse me, and then they go straight into their cringy pickup line and it never works. And the main reason it doesn't is because most people who are out and about walking around, they already have their attention focused on something. Or if they don't have their attention focused on something, they're just walking around disillusioned. They're all weary and they're, you know, not thinking of anything. They're living in the clouds, essentially. So if you come over and say, excuse me once, you might have 5% of their attention. If you say it twice, you might have 25%. But if you go over and you say, excuse me, girls, obviously not aggressive like that, but you say it enough times and you make sure that you grab 100% of their attention, you're coming over there with a purpose and you want to make it clear to them that you are here to make a point and you have something important to give to them and you want something in return for that and you want to make that presence known. You don't want to go over there and half-arse it and be like, excuse me, and then go straight into it because number one, they're not going to be paying attention, and number two, you've not given them any reason for them to give you their attention because they're just going to be thinking, oh, this guy's a bit boring and low energy. There's no real reason for me to give him my valued attention. You almost need to treat it like you've drank 5 coffees before the approach, that you're just really hyperactive and you're such an extroverted, outgoing person. You're going over there with a purpose and you want 100% of their attention because that's what you came here for. So this is a very, very important line. And obviously you don't need to do every single approach like this, but because it's two girls and I saw that there was mid-conversation, I do need to step it up. And that's why I say, excuse me, girls. There's 6, you know, essentially the same thing there. 6 discourse markers to make my presence known. If a woman is a little bit more attentive and you say excuse me once and you see that she's already giving you her full attention, then you don't need to say it 6 times. But if in most situations a girl's only going to be giving you 5% attention after the first excuse me, so that's why you need to say it a lot more times just to make sure that you get her attention. And just one more point to say on this, as I said, this is the most crucial part of the interaction. If a girl's walking, you stop her in her tracks. If she's walking past you and she's already gone, then you run around, you run in front, and you do the exact same. You go, excuse me. You obviously leave an appropriate amount of space, but you make sure that you get her attention, you're making your presence known, because it's really important what you have to say. I've seen so many TikTok interactions, cold approaches on TikTok, obviously, where a guy would try to run up to a girl and he'll say, excuse me, and then the girl just carries on walking. Just see you later, because he's not made his impact, he's not made any presence known. But if you come over and you're, excuse me, girls, whatever, stop. If you say something like that, then a woman's gonna absolutely stop, without fail. I've never had a woman run straight past me because she's, not sensed my presence. I'm making it an impact right off the beginning. Anyway, I've talked a lot about that, but I really had to talk about it a lot just to drill it home how important this is. This is the most important point of the video. But anyway, carrying on.
Sorry to interrupt you. I know you're enjoying lovely...
Okay, so the next part, this is the second line. It's probably the second most important part of the interaction. I immediately calibrate myself and I say, sorry to interrupt you, because I know that I've broken a social norm. It's not or especially, you know, depending on where you live, you're not supposed to go up to people randomly. So I'm calling myself out straight away, saying like, yeah, I know I've broken a social norm right now, but, you know, hear me out. Let me say what I have to say. So it's always important to, you know, call yourself out on something that you know isn't a regular social convention. It makes the other person comfortable to be like, okay, yeah, this guy has done something wrong, but he knows that he's done it. So it makes it somewhat justifiable. And the next part is reasonably interesting as well.
Coffee or... In fact, I don't even know what that is. It looks like a strawberry milkshake or something.
Potentially slightly questionable free coffee.
Questionable free coffee. Seems it's been tainted with
I don't know if you can match that, whatever
some
you're
soft...
gonna
Okay, so all of this part, the previous 2 or 3 sentences that I've just said there, that's all just a tiny, tiny bit of rapport building. I'm coming over, I'm adding value. And you can see that they even laughed at a couple of my jokes that I said. And you can do this in lots of different ways. Obviously, not every time you're going to have the opportunity to do it. Sometimes you just have to go straight into the pitch of whatever you're asking for, saying like, oh, I find you attractive, whatever it might be. But if you can, I always think it's a good idea to add some value first. If you can pick up on something like whatever they're drinking, the clothes that they're wearing, something special about their hair, just any unique thing that you can pinpoint about their appearance, then if you can talk about that in the first few sentences, that's always a positive, because you're adding value to them first. You're not just coming over trying to demand whatever you want, making it all about me, 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 me. You're making it about them first. You're adding value to their life. You're putting a smile on their face. And you can see, and this isn't the only time it happens, they've laughed 2 or 3 times from the jokes that I've already said, and they've got a smile on. You see them laugh so much more later in the interaction, so you know that it's a positive. I'm not just asking them to do something for me, and they're like, oh, sure, fine, why not? I don't particularly want to, but because you're asking. If you add value to people first, the law of reciprocity means that people feel obliged to do something in return for you. So I come over, I crack a few jokes, I put a smile on their face, and then they're going to be way more likely to say yes to whatever I'm proposing next. So, and this only takes, we're 25 seconds into the interaction so far. I've, you know, came over, make my presence known, I've cracked a few jokes, and now I can get into what I'm actually proposing, because you don't want to drag it out for ages and ages and ages. If you never get to the point, then people are going to get bored as well, because you've self-invited your presence. Yeah, you might have put a smile on their face a couple of the times, but at the end of the day, they do want to know what you're actually asking. So somewhere within the first 30 seconds, if you're able to communicate what you actually end up wanting, then that's going to, you know, allow people the patience to hear what you want to say. And I get it into it here. So I say, right, okay.
It's not very cool.
Right, okay. Anyway, yeah, right. Now let me think of what I was actually going to come over and ask you for. So
there was a little bit of improvisation there, I'm not going to lie. I was so carried away from the first 20 seconds of the interaction that I actually forgot the usual pitch of explaining how the invitation for them to participate in the video was going to work. So I had to roll along with it a little bit. And this is going to happen if you approach people. It's not going to go to plan, and you can't bank on a word-for-word script going exactly your way every single time. It's just not going to happen. Sometimes you do need to think on your spot. And if you do have a brain fog for, you know, momentarily, then just say, oh, sorry, I've completely forgot what I was actually going to come over here for. And then that's going to jig your memory. You're going to avoid that awkward silence where you're standing there for 10 seconds forgetting what you're going to say. If you just keep the conversation moving, say, oh, I've forgotten. And it makes it look more human as well. It makes the interaction seem more authentic. A lot of women are looking for authenticity. The reason these guys on TikTok who do these pickup line approaches never work, or the woman will give their number but in a very, very flaky way, so it'll be like, sure, you can have my number, but we all know really that's just to get rid of the guy, is because the interaction, the way that the guy is speaking is so robotic and rehearsed. He's just racing to get his words out as fast and as perfect as possible. He'll be like, excuse me, are you a lawnmower? Because blah, 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 blah. And he'll say it, And it's so blatantly obvious to the girls, and girls hate this. Girls absolutely hate when a guy does this. He says a pickup line, and it's so blatantly clear that he's just done that to the last 25 girls and been rejected every time. And he's just chancing. He's just chancing and thinking, oh, if I do this for 1,000 girls, eventually one is going to like it. It doesn't work because it seems inauthentic. But if you approach the way that I've approached these girls in this interaction, it seems authentic. It's not robotic. It's very human. I've tailored it. I've mentioned about the thing that they're drinking, so you know that I'm not just chancing and I've done it to the previous 50 girls, which I have, but I'm just faking the authenticity, if you understand. Anyway, now carrying on with the pitch.
Yeah, me and my friend, we're actually recording a video today. It was literally on our break, sitting over there on the bench. But we saw you, like, sitting here, and was like, oh my god, you'd literally be perfect for it. Like, literally.
Right, so this part does two things. One I've already mentioned is the authenticity. Saying that we were on our break and, you know, we weren't actually supposed to be recording anything at the moment. And I've used this line for so many interactions, and I noticed it does increase the conversion rate because it shows that I'm not desperate. It shows that, you know, it just so happens that we was on our break, but we saw you, so we wanted to make it work because you're that special. And the part where I say you would literally be perfect for it, it's all flattery. This is all to try to make them think that, you know, they are really that desirable and they really want to, and we really want them to be in the video. We're not coming over with a low energy attitude saying like, hey, we're recording a video. Do you guys want to be in it? You look like you would be a laugh and we just want to get it done. That if you come over with that kind of energy, then nobody's gonna say yes to it because you're not adding any value. You're not making them feel like you really want them to be in it. You're just doing it because you're just trying to tick over the hours of the day. Maybe some guy has hired you to do it and you don't really want to be there. Like, the energy that I'm giving off in this interaction is that I want to be there and I really want them in this video and they would be perfect for it. I think that they would be great, and that's why I want them to be in this video. So all of this is just building authenticity and flattery, and it carries on.
Both of you. And we've only got 2 left to do, so we really want to get it done. If you girls could do like a massive favour and just be the last 2 people, that'd be fantastic.
And this is all just filler, really. It's just filling up a bit more space. There's nothing that special about what I've said there, saying, you know, you're the last 2 people. It'd be great if you can get, if we could get you involved. It's almost like a little bit of a sympathy sentence to say, like, you know, oh, we're a little bit desperate now. We've got 2 more people that we need, and it'll be great if you can just do us a big favor. So, you know, maybe they want to reciprocate based on the value that I've already provided earlier in the interaction, but we'll see.
You'd make our day. It's basically.
And after all of what I've just said here, we're almost a minute in now. It's been 90% me talking. It's been me adding value to them. You know, I've been making a few jokes. I've been making them smile, making them laugh, and I've provided them compliments. I've said, you know, you'll be perfect for it, which we all know is an indirect allusion to say that they're attractive, you know, along those lines. So at the moment, and you can even see on their facial expressions, they've got a positive energy. They're at least somewhat interested. I know that they're not 100% guaranteed to say yes. However, I know that they're on the fence at the moment. And the fact that they've now just asked, what is the video about, it tells me, okay, I'm not wasting my time here. I can pitch them a bit more. I don't want to waste any more of my time. If they were like, oh, you know, miserable look on their face, I would have walked away 30 seconds ago. But the fact that they're at least a little bit interested, I can see the positive energy, the smile on their face, and they're asking what the video is about, now I know, okay, there's actually a decent chance they might agree to be in it here. So we're going to carry it on again.
Rating guys out of 10. So it's a really interesting concept. We've already recorded 8 so far.
And notice, this is one more thing that I always do in the interaction. So up to this point, let me just get it here. Oh, yeah. I've had the sign turned to me. They are not able to see the sign. So I've got this little souvenir and a little prize that if they follow along with where I'm going, then they'll be able to find out. It's that curiosity. I'm trying to plant those seeds of curiosity in their mind. I've asked them to be in a video. I said that I think they'll be perfect for it. They want to know what it's about, because at least for curiosity reasons. And if they're happy with it, they might agree to it. If they're not, then they can easily say no, and that's what ends up happening. But just, you always want to leave, the point I'm trying to make on this is that you always want to leave a little bit of curiosity whenever you approach someone. Just leave a little bit of mystery, because if you tell everything about yourself straight up, then it leaves no curiosity. She's got no reason to find out more and ask you questions. There's no reason for her to continue investing. But anyway, carrying on from where we left off.
It's a really interesting concept. We've already recorded 8 so far, so we literally need to...
Now, this is a very, very important line. This is easily top 5 of the most important sentences that I've said so far. We've already recorded 8 so far, so we literally need 2 more. Now, the reason why this is important is for a reason that you wouldn't necessarily think of straight up, but the reason is social proof. The reason it's got social proof in it is because I've said we've already recorded 8 so far. And that implies, well, it doesn't imply, it says explicitly that we've done this to 8 other girls, we've approached them, they've already recorded and been in my video, so if they're happy with it, then it means that it is a legit concept. I'm not just some random creep approaching people and I've got 0 success. I've got 8 people, and I didn't have my phone with me at this moment in time, but usually what I would also do is I would bring up my phone and show the recordings that I've already done, and obviously the most attractive girls, because that's going to generate even more social proof. Women are as biased about women's attractiveness as us guys are. If you see an attractive girl doing something, women, if they see an attractive girl doing something, then they're a lot more likely to follow along than if they see an unattractive girl. It's just the same with relationships. If you're a guy and you've had some ugly girlfriend in the past, no one's going to care about it. But if you have some really hot girlfriend, or you've previously had a really attractive girlfriend, other women are going to be looking at that and be like, wow, this guy, he must have something up his sleeve. He must be packing something, because if he's been able to seduce that, then he must be a really high value man. He must have something behind closed doors. Anyway, carrying on.
And we've got like all of these magnets printed off. These guys have actually paid me because they want to find out how attractive they are.
There's more social proof saying I've had guys pay me to get their face rated out of 10 by girls. This implies that I have a following, that a lot of people watch me and they're interested, and even so much so that they're willing to put their money on the table to get these results.
I want to hear the valued, lovely opinions from the beautiful girls at the University of Birmingham.
More flattery there, saying, you know, they want to hear from the beautiful girls at the University of Birmingham. It's making them feel special, attractive. It's all giving value to them in the hope that they're going to reciprocate something.
Literally takes 5 minutes.
Literally takes 5 minutes, because I don't want to be a big inconvenience on anyone. It's all just adding to this. It's a quick, easy, fun thing to do, and it's not going to take that much time out of your day. If you want to be in it, then you can.
All you need to do is just slap them on the board wherever you can.
Again, more simplicity there. It only takes 5 minutes. All you have to do is just slap it on the board. It's the easiest job in the world.
It's the easiest thing in the world.
I mean, I'm good. Do you want to do it?
I think you should do it.
Not for me, thanks. But
So this is just where I'm giving them a chance to talk amongst themselves, see what they think. And I'm gauging their reactions as well as they're speaking. Because you can't just go over to people and just pitch and pitch and pitch and pitch and pitch and just hoping at the end that they're going to say yes. It's got to be a mutual discussion. So you're giving information, you're slowly spreading breadcrumbs, you're trickling, you know, the information out as you go along. You're building that curiosity, and you're always keeping a little bit of curiosity back. But then at the same time, once you're giving those breadcrumbs out, you're getting them on board, you're getting them more invested, and you're still allowing them to discuss amongst themselves, because you don't just want to, because otherwise if you just talk and talk and talk, people feel manipulated. They've not had even time to process their own thoughts, let alone communicate with the person that they're potentially with about how they feel about a given subject. So at this part, I'm just letting them have an opportunity to talk amongst themselves, and I'm still reading their responses.
you can if you want.
I'll leave it, but...
I see, you're a little bit warmer.
I've got a boyfriend. I feel like he might be. What the hell?
Okay, so this is just simple objections handling. For whatever approach you're doing or whatever it's going to be, you're going to have objections. If you go up to a girl and you ask for Instagram, she might say, oh, I don't have Instagram. So these are just all objections. And you've just got to think, what's the easiest way to handle these objections? And in this, I say, we've had girls in the past that have had boyfriends. It's not a problem. You can say something at the beginning. That's how I handle this objection. And everything that I'm talking about so far, it doesn't just apply to dating. It also applies to sales. Like, everything that I've talked about so far is also a sales tactic. Because in sales, you're going to have people that object for whatever reason to not want to buy your product. And if you're able to handle those objections effectively, then you're going to way increase the likelihood that somebody's going to agree to whatever you're saying.
We've already had a couple of people that have had boyfriends.
Really?
So if you want to say like something at the beginning, you know, to
Disclaimer.
say, yeah,
Pre-disclaimer.
disclaimer.
And at the same time, it's all keeping these positive vibes. They're still smiling, laughing as it's going along. So it's all positive energy still. I don't just want it to be pure logistics where it's mundane, it's boring. I want this to feel fun. I want them to have a good time. I want them to laugh, because the more happy and their emotions are positive, the higher chance that they're going to say yes. The way that you would approach a guy for something like this is completely different to the way that you would approach women for it. Because for women, a lot of the equation is just about how they feel and their emotions. And you can try to make a positive change on their emotions and the way that they feel, which is going to increase the conversion rate. And it just shows that a lot less of it is about logistics. However, for a man, if you're approaching him, wanting him to do something similar, all a guy cares about is logistics. It's just logistics. Because how long is it going to take? Am I getting money for it? What's in it for me? They don't care about the feelings and emotions, because men are much more rational. They're just thinking whether it's going to be worth their time. So I just wanted to make that point too, about how it differs between approaching men and approaching women.
No, it's alright, but thank you.
Sure,
Sounds
okay.
like a fun video.
Right. Last resort, just because.
At this point, I kind of knew that they were out, because I had gone for several closes. You don't ever just want to go for one close. If they say no on the first occasion, unless it's like a really brutal no, like absolutely not, get away, then if it's kind of a medium no, like, oh, I'm not sure, or I'm kind of on the fence at the moment, which is how it's been. I've been reading the interaction. If it's those kind of no's, then it absolutely makes sense to go for more closes. And I carry on saying, oh, but how about this? Oh, we could do this. Oh, this might persuade you. So I continue going for more closes because I see that they are still on the fence. Anyway, carrying on.
I want to make it worth your time. You know, I know it's a little bit of an inconvenience. Like, you know, because we are desperate. We'll pay you a tenner each.
And this is the last resort that I go for, because I already knew after closing them several times that they weren't going to be interested in being in the video. So as a last resort, I know a few people are going to disagree and be like, why the hell are you doing this? I offer them money. I just say, I'll throw in a tenner each just to make it worth your time. And a lot of people end up saying yes based on that. And the reason I do this is purely logistical, because it takes time. It takes time to approach people. If I had to not give money, then it would probably take 2 days to film this, which means that I would then have to pay my filming assistant twice as much. That's 100 quid out of my pocket, which I would have only had to spend once if it was just filmed over 1 day. So if I'm able to pay girls money, I'm saving a day of my time, I'm saving a day of the filming assistant's time, I'm saving the money of the filming assistant's time. So it is purely logistical for me to occasionally offer money if it means that the chance of them saying yes is increased by 50%, 75%. It's purely logistical on this. I'm not a simp for doing that. It's just numbers at the end of the day.
You should do it.
I'm good. I'm good.
And I see this kind of has an impact. As soon as I bring up, you know, there's money involved, then one of the girls is like, oh, actually, now, I think that it might be good, because, you know, at least you're going to get money. But once they turn that down, then I know that it's a wrap and there's no point pursuing anymore. So it's all just about leaving the interaction off a positive note. I think it's still positive and I'm not coming away from the interaction all butthurt and being like, oh, fine, screw you then, thanks for wasting my time, because that's not helping anyone. And you got to imagine that other people are onlooking, and you don't know what they're going to do, because I might see them another time and there might be something else that they will be interested. You never know what's going to happen. It doesn't hurt to leave a positive vibe at the end of it. You're not gaining anything by being all depressed and miserable for a woman not giving what you want. You might as well just leave it as a positive. It's just politeness, and it will make you feel good about yourself as well.
You're happy with lots of free stuff today. You've got the free coffee. You can get a tenner.
Where's it going on YouTube?
It's on for YouTube, yeah.
No, I'm alright. Thank you.
Sure. Alright, okay. Anyway, sorry to interrupt your lovely coffee day.
Idea,
enjoy the rest of your day. See you later.
Yeah, so as you can see, it's just reiterating what I've already said. It leaves on a positive note. I'm not going to poison the well, because in some scenarios, if there's a lot less women, if you do leave the interaction with a negative tone, then it can end up poisoning the well for you. Because obviously a university is a massive place, and me approaching these two girls the way that I did is only going to lead to positive vibes and comments if they tell their friends about it later. But say in a smaller environment, if I had been negative and I had been annoyed and upset that they didn't want to be in the video, then they might tell 10 of their friends, say like, oh, this guy was such an idiot, he was so annoying, and he was really bitter at the end because we didn't agree to be in the video. Then if I approach those girls, they're going to say no as well, because they already know that I'm just only in it for myself. I don't want to give value back. So if you give value out, then most of the time you're going to get value back. Not every time, but a lot of the time you're going to not poison the well, and you're going to be getting value in return. It absolutely pays off in the long run. Anyway, so that's all of my points of analysis that I had to say for this video. I think there's been some incredibly valuable pieces of analysis that I've thrown in this video that absolutely applies to you approaching women in your day-to-day life for a dating purpose. I'm talking about cold approach here. If you apply these same principles, then you're going to have a way smoother time doing it, and the conversion rate is going to be so much higher than if you don't follow these steps and the women are going to be annoyed by your presence.